one of the most difficult things that you're going to have to accept. You've all been here, right? Especially for you guys out there who aren't trading full time, who this is a side hobby for you. You likely have a full-time job. And if you're really dedicating the time to learn how to trade, let's imagine that you have just worked a full 6 or 8 hour shift, maybe longer. You're coming home and now you're dedicating 2 to 4 hours of sitting in front of the charts looking for a trade. And on the days where there's no trade, man, you feel like you haven't done any work. You sat here, you're trying to grind it out. You're looking for the signal. Maybe you've done your back testing and you have a system. You're waiting for a signal, but nothing comes. You don't get a signal throughout a full 2 to 4 hour trading session. And let me tell you, one of the biggest mistakes that you can make following that is to, be on your centralized exchange or be on your decentralized exchange, on your high caps, on your watch list, looking for a signal, none come. And then what do? Well, you decide to go punt, some money on some random degenerate altcoin because you think it's going to pump, and you lose $1,000. And this is a story that I know so many of you can sympathize with because it is your story. Hell, it's been my story many, many times. And so this idea that, okay, trading is a business, trading is now my second job. I want to make profit with my second job. But if I don't take a trade, I feel like I haven't done anything. And nothing could be farther from the truth. The reality is that most of your time trading is going to be sitting on your hands. Trade less, strategize more, plan more. As you guys saw with the multiple situations in which I've made money on stream. Most of it is not that exciting. It's sitting there watching the markets, waiting patiently for a signal. And when we finally do get that signal that we have some statistics on, unless we're testing out a new strategy, that we have some statistics on, then we go in. But most of it's waiting. And that can be the hardest thing for a trader. And so developing a system, developing clear triggers, developing clear signals, setting alerts for those can be a lifesaver, because then you can just simply be less married to the charts. That's exactly how we teach in our process. But this is systems trading, right? Unless your dream is to run some kind of high frequency trading bot, which, good luck. Most of your time is going to be spent sitting on your hands, particularly in markets like this, where there's a lot of chop, a lot of indecision, a lot of fundamental indecision. These are times when you can make tactical investments, buy when there's blood in the streets. But from the perspective of trading, it's generally an unsuccessful or losing battle. You want to trade when the market dynamic is in your favor, when the trend is in your favor, and when everything seems very, very clear. You have to develop that confidence to act. And that confidence to act is going to come when everything aligns for a perfect trade or for a good trade setup that you have determined previously with your back testing and your previous trading. It's not going to be from forcing a trade. And most of the trades that I'm seeing from most of the individuals in the community, most of the individuals online, from my timeline, they're forced trades, man. People are forcing trades and people are trying to chase the latest narrative. And sometimes that's a good strategy, but it's not long-term reproducible. So guys, it's completely fine if you're not making a lot of money right now. The market is brutal right now, and the market won't always be this way, especially if you're long biased. If you're long biased and you just are terrified of pressing the red button, and you haven't been pressing the red button at any point in time over the last 2 to 4 weeks, you're probably not making that much money. If you're long biased over the last 2 to 4 weeks, you're probably not making that much money. And that's okay. So it's okay to not force the trades, and it's okay to sit on your hands. It's okay to sit on your hands for weeks or months. You don't need to do anything. If you are sitting on... Now, let me make a qualification here. If you're sitting on your hands because you don't know what to do, that's a little different. If you don't have a system, if you haven't done the work of making the system, this is the perfect time to do that, right? Why sit in front of the charts for 4 hours to find a signal that's not coming around because the market regime is not in your favor right now? Why don't you dedicate that time to back testing? Why don't you dedicate that time to sitting down and fleshing out a nuanced strategy? Use that time now when the markets are boring and brutal, so that when the markets swing back into your favor, which could come tomorrow, the next week, the next month, 6 months down the line, doesn't know, who knows, but they will. And when they do, you will be prepared and ready to profit. All right. Okay.